Hey guys, Jess Hallock here. We're finally doing a makeup tutorial. I've been asked so often to do a makeup tutorial and I've just been trying to wrap my head around which one to do first. So we're gonna do an everyday makeup. There's lots of different looks I like. This is the one that when I'm in a crunch, if I'm traveling, it's my everyday go-to if I don't have a lot of time, and using a brand that is very near and dear to my heart. It's been almost a year using this brand. So here we go. I'm gonna go over the products that I love. We're gonna go over contouring, blush, setting, eyebrows, lips, everything for an everyday look. Disclaimer, I do have lash extensions, so if you're wondering why is that already done, it's because I have extensions. I don't wear mascara with them, I just do that. So keep that in mind. So as far as my skin goes, you should know I don't have perfect skin by any means. I have acne, I have wrinkles, I have large pores, I have greasy everything. So finding makeup that works well with my skin, that's not just I don't want it to feel heavy. I love something that's lightweight but has good coverage because I need it. I have sunspots, I have scarring, I have lots of stuff going on. But finding something that kind of meets all of my needs and then also doesn't make me break out, doesn't come off throughout the day, all those things, that was a challenge. I came across this brand, Maskcara, about a year ago. People that I was following on Instagram, YouTube were using it, and I was like, it just seems a little too easy. So I signed up, I got everything that I could get from them, and I've just been in love with it. I use other products, but this is just easy. So mascara comes and it's a palette builder. It looks like this. So you can set up, this is clearly the one I use all the time. When they're pretty and brand new, they look like this, like that. So you pick your different shades and you build your palette that's gonna be your everyday wear. So for me, I use a highlight, a contour, blush, and then a setting powder. And that's usually what I suggest for everybody else. The colors I'm going to be using on myself personally is going to be amber for my, it's called highlight, but it's basically your foundation. Olive for my contour. My blush will be nude. And then the vanilla setting powder is going to be for my face. And then I'll move on to my eyeshadow, eyebrows, lips, everything else. So I start with my face. That's just my preference. My go-to is gonna be amber, but you should know this is an online company, so I ordered a few shades at a time just because what I thought I would like versus when I get a little bit of sun or if I'm a little more fair, I like to have leeway. So when you're online looking at these different shades, you should know that about 5 of them, maybe more, can match my face. So if it looks overwhelming, have some confidence that you could pick a couple and it's gonna work. I personally use June, Amber, Aura, Wheat. Yeah, I think that's it. So those are my normal. So I'm gonna start with my face. Another reason I love Maskcara, and Maskcara is the brand, is their brushes. This is the 30-second hack brush. If you love makeup, you probably have a gazillion brushes that you love. But if you're on the go, carrying all those around can be a pain. So I love that these are double-sided. This is my first brush I'm gonna use. Again, it's a 30-second hack brush. So this kind of pointed end is what I'm gonna use to put on my foundation. And then this beveled side is gonna be for my contour. So I'm starting with, what are we gonna do? Let's go with amber today. So I'm gonna put some on my brush. And I do have a mirror down here because putting it on a camera is pretty tough. So one thing I love about this product is it moves really well. When you get it, you're like, is this enough for me? Is this gonna last a while? It does. This shade, they come in like little, what do you call them? Little palette pieces. They'll last me a few months. And one thing that's nice about this is you can layer it. So if I'm having a day where I need more coverage, I can add more on and it's not gonna feel heavy. So the highlight, I start by doing the tops right under my eye, doing my chin, and then on top of my forehead, and then I kind of leave out the spaces for contour. That's what's unique about this makeup palette, is that you're not layering. You kind of just do it in stages. So I'm just doing my foundation, or my highlight is what they call it when you're looking at their stuff. And again, I found this brand because it was a single, it just comes like this. Like, that's so easy. So when I'm traveling, because I travel to do hair, I don't want to bring an entire makeup bag with me. That's just way too much. And this, this makeup goes on super evenly. It's very forgiving. It's very user-friendly if you don't feel like you're an expert. And honestly, depending on the time of year, I use different things. In Arizona, it's extremely hot. So finding something that's not gonna melt off my face, but also stays, because it does get hot and it does start, you know, you get sweaty. Let's be honest. I drag this down past my chin into my neckline. Okay, so I have a decent amount on my face. It's very lightweight. I like to be able to breathe. I used to wear heavier stuff and it was just too much throughout the day. So I love how lightweight this is, but I get compliments every time I wear it because it fills in all those lines and pores and just looks seamless. So I'm gonna switch sides, going to the beveled side, and I'm gonna contour. I'm not a contouring pro. So when I first started using their contour, I was so excited at how easy it went on, because everything else has just been really tough for me. So these are all the contour shades that they have, and I'm gonna use Olive. It is, I think it's a good shade for a lot of people. And you'll see when it goes on, it's a little bit of a warmer neutral. You're gonna find your cheekbone. So if you went like this, it's that groove. I have large cheeks. So I am not gonna leave the house without contouring them. Otherwise, I feel like I look very round. So you're gonna find your cheeks and you're gonna lightly push it up into the hairline. And again, this product moves so well. So if you're like, oh, it's really dark right here, I'm gonna, you know, back it up, it's too much, you can move it around really easy. So again, suck it in, I'm gonna put it in right here. And I didn't put my highlight right there, I skipped around it. So go like that. And again, this is a product that you can build. So if you do like a more extreme contour or just more defined, then have at it. And then I'm super blonde, so I try to make sure that my hair is out of the way when I'm framing my face with the contour. This just gives you like a warm glow. Again, I love that this is double-sided, because my foundation, I just found a spot where it wasn't totally blended. Switch sides of the brush and it's easy. When I clean my brushes, I've been using, sorry, I'm kind of all over the place, but I've been loving this. It's by Sephora. I spray this on a microfiber. I don't know if you're supposed to, but that's worked really well cleaning my brushes. I spray this on a microfiber, and then I take my brush and I swirl it onto the microfiber, and it works amazing. Like, these brushes are so easy to clean. And I honestly, I have all of them, but I have 2 of this one, just because it is my favorite. Okay, now I'm going underneath my jawline just to keep it defined. Is it working? And like I said, this is my easy, everyday, like, I'm trying, but I'm not trying that hard. That's not my personality. It makes me more stressed than beneficial. This is the Detail Hack Brush. So this one I like for, you could use this end for more defined contouring, like for your nose, if you like to do just under your lips. And then I use this side for blush, personally, just because I like to push it in and swirl it around a little bit. But all of these brushes you can use for all different things. You don't have to just stick to what they're supposed to be used for. So the color I'm doing is Nude, and I'm pulling from my palette that I use all the time. It's been loved. It's this shade, this is Nude. So I use this one a lot too. It's called Frenchie, but the Nude one I use all the time just because it's more rosy. So if I don't want my cheeks to be like have a major pop, this is what I'm going to. So I put some on my brush, and then I'm just pushing it into my cheekbones like that, and then lightly swirling it around. And again, this product is so thin, it moves so easily. One thing to keep in mind when you are putting this on yourself, we're gonna be setting it with a powder that's gonna kind of blur everything together. So if you're putting this on and you're like, wow, my cheeks are really defined, you know, my contour is a little sharp, you can soften it as you go, but have peace of mind that we are gonna smooth it out later. So here's the blush on the other side. Man, if someone froze these frames while I'm putting on makeup, does anyone have their blush face or their blow dry face or their mascara? It could be better. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to my 30-second hack, and with the beveled end that I was using for foundation, I'm just gonna smooth some of those lines I did, just lightly. That's what I'm saying, guys. This is the most user-friendly system that when I don't have time to pay attention and do it well, this is what I'm using. And then another step you could do to also help blend, if you guys have seen those beauty blenders, this is one that they have. It's called their Perfector, but I just use it to also smooth out some of these beauty lines, and I'm just patting. Is it necessary? Not all the time. If you feel like you did too much, grab one of these. You just get them wet, wring it out, and pat it on your face. Okay, so next, like I said, we were gonna set the powder. And when you set it, because this is a cream foundation system, so it will move if you touch it. If you set it with the powder, which is absolutely necessary, then it's not gonna move. So this is another brush. I think it's called their B something. I don't know. It's like blush and bronze B something. But I'm gonna take the fluffy side, and then this is their, I think it's Vanilla Dust, their setting powder. It's right here. It's just translucent, light powder, and I'm gonna put this all over, and it just makes everything look like airbrushed and seamless. Guys, I love how this looks at the end of the day. Like it's just this really soft, seamless look. Okay, next, my go-to is brows. I do have microbladed brows because naturally a lot of my eyebrow hair is blonde, and I would tint all the time, and it just got to be a lot. So I switched to the Anastasia DipBrow pomade, and this is Taupe. I used to use I can't remember, it was like their medium brown, and I went into Sephora one day and they were like, what are you using? Apparently I didn't know how to do my brows then. Okay, so this is Taupe, and this is their, what's it called? Their pencil, it's the one that they sell by the Anastasia brand. So use the brush side, just kind of shape your brows up, brush them all up in the same direction, and then switch sides to your beveled, and then pat in your pomade. You don't need a lot of product. This spreads so evenly, and it's a very pigmented pomade. So I'm going to start with, I just go in the center, just because that's where, if I do put a lot of product on the brush, then this helps me get rid of a lot of it right off the bat. And then when I have less on the brush is where I go on the outer perimeter to have a softer brow. I don't love a sharp, defined brow. I love it on other people. Not very good at it myself. So this is my go-to. So I can kind of see if you were to make the perfect brow shape, what it would look like. So I'm following the top of my brow and then following it down, and I'm just lightly touching it until I feel more confident, and then I'll go a little bit heavier. And same thing on the inside. I love this beveled brush because it does mimic, or angled brush, because it mimics hair strokes. So it's very easy to use. And this has been good for me for a long time. I've been using the same brow stuff for like, I don't know, at least a year. I don't change a lot. Change a lot with my hair care, but my makeup, when you have as difficult of skin as I do, finding something that works is like life-changing. So I have a hard time branching out. Okay, so here's my other brow. The tricky part is making them match. I do feel like brows are its own like art. And then I switch to the side with the brush and I just smooth everything out. So if there is too much product in one area, you can just kind of blur it with this and it makes it defined. Okay, so I am not a huge, I don't wear a lot of exaggerated makeup or anything unless it's like a night out on the town, and then maybe. So my eyeshadow is always very soft, very natural looking. My eyes are like blue, green, gray, something like that. So I like to use corals, purples to make them pop. These are some of their eyeshadows. I'm going to use, oh snap, I don't know what this one's called. This one is called Nama or Mama. I have to look it up, I'll link it. But it's just a very soft blush pink. So I'm gonna put that all over my lid. And this is their eyeshadow brush, which I love. All of their products are super pigmented, so you don't have to use a lot, which is so nice. And they're very affordable. So I've just been super happy with their stuff. Okay, so I'm putting this all over my lid. I don't do eyeliner because I do have lash extensions and their volume, in case you're wondering, not classics. So I don't worry about doing an eyeliner because the glue on the lash extensions is black. So when you have a full set of lashes, it kind of looks like you're wearing eyeliner. So if you don't have these, maybe do a very thin eyeliner just to kind of give your eyes a pop. And again, I'm very conservative with my makeup. I like it to just look soft and flattering, and you know. So I did the blush, I did it on all of my lid, and then I brought it up into the crease just a little bit higher. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch to the detail because this brush is just a little bit fluffier. So I'm gonna grab, go back to that, what was it called? The Vanilla Dust. And I just kind of tap it off and I'm putting it up above the eyeshadow to just soften that line that I did, and then just, I don't know, kind of give me a highlight under my eyebrows. Is I'm gonna do my lips. So I love MAC. I always go back to MAC for my lips, for my lip liner, for all those things. This is, I want to say Spice. Yep, Spice. This is one of their like classic pencils they've had forever. So a trick that I learned when you're lining your lips is to look at where your natural line is on your lip and go on it or just past it if you want a little bit more. And then we're gonna shade in just to give them some shape, especially if you're feeling like they're flat or you want some more oomph, or just, you know, make them different. So one trick when I'm putting on lip liner is that I don't ever go in like directly at my lip. I always tilt the pencil at an angle, just because especially if I'm not really careful, and let's say I was using a really bright pencil, I usually mess it up. So I go in at an angle, it's kind of beveled on my lip, and it almost looks like a shade rather than a defined line. And I do that with my red liners, my violet, like anything that I could potentially mess up, I start at an angle and it's much more forgiving. Okay, so once you've lined your lips, a trick that I learned is kind of like if you were to, remember when you would like outline your pictures when you were coloring, and then you'd kind of like want to shade in a little bit within the line because it just gave it some like little something extra, and it's just, I don't know, maybe it was a girl thing. We would just like outline it and then we'd shade in the middle. That's what this would do. So I just outlined everything, and then I'm gonna go in on my corners right in here, and I'm just gonna shade it in a little bit. So when you shade, you're not pressing as hard. You're going a little bit lighter handed with your pencil and shading in on the inner corners of your mouth. So I don't know if you can see, hopefully you can, that I just shaded on the inside of the corners just to give it more of a round shape. So especially if you're feeling like you don't have round lips and they're more flat, shading them will make a big difference. Okay, and then I'm using 2 colors. I always use a little bit darker first, and then I go in with a lighter to, again, just give your lips more shape. So I'm using Velvet Teddy from MAC. This is the color I actually got married with. I love it. It's just a very soft, natural on my skin. I really like it. I always go to the corally colors or like the soft nudes. I don't ever go full nude color because I feel like I need something. I just can't pull it off. But I like this one. Okay, so I did 1 coat of Velvet Teddy, kind of just let it like set a little bit. And then I'm gonna go in with HoneyLove, and this is another MAC staple. They always have this one. And this one's just a little bit lighter, a little bit pinkier than the Velvet Teddy. And when you're layering, make sure your darker color goes all the way to the edges. And then your lighter color, we're just gonna kind of tap more in the center to give it just a softer shape. There you go. So I love lipstick so much. I'm not a stain person. I love the moisture. It gets really dry here. I like to be able to move my lips around and just, I don't mind reapplying it, but MAC stays really well for me. So those are my 2 colors. I use Velvet Teddy, HoneyLove. Wait, right? Yeah. And then that is my everyday look. So that's it. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, any other types of looks you want to see, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what more you want to see from me. If you liked it, give me some feedback. I always appreciate it. You guys are always the sweetest.